Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires. And it goes! She hit it!
The moment news about Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark exploded across social media, the entire basketball world seemed to stop at once. Fans flooded comment sections within minutes. Sports pages pushed non-stop alerts. Debate shows immediately. Interrupted regular programming just to discuss the incident. And suddenly, one question began spreading faster than anyone expected. Had the WNBA finally decided enough was enough? Inside arenas across the league, conversations completely shifted overnight. Nobody wanted to talk about playoff standings anymore. Nobody cared about upcoming matchups. Everywhere people looked, they saw clips replaying the controversial moment. Again and again from different camera angles. Fans argued online non-stop about whether the contact crossed the line from physical basketball into something far more serious. The reaction became massive almost instantly. Some supporters defended Caitlin fiercely, claiming the league had failed to protect its biggest superstar for months. Others argued that physical play had always existed in professional basketball. And critics were overreacting because of Caitlin's popularity. But no matter which side people supported, everyone agreed on one thing. The pressure on the WNBA had reached a dangerous level. Television analysts started questioning league leadership publicly. Popular sports influencers accused officials of losing control over player behavior. Even former athletes joined podcasts discussing whether jealousy toward Caitlin Clark had created growing hostility inside the league itself. Then rumors started spreading online. People claimed the WNBA was preparing severe consequences behind the scenes. Nobody knew what was true yet, but that uncertainty only made the situation more explosive. Social media users searched desperately for updates every few minutes, hoping for confirmation. Some posts claimed Chennedy Carter had secretly been suspended permanently. Others insisted league executives were furious about the public backlash, damaging the WNBA's image during its biggest growth period in years. The internet turned chaotic. Meanwhile, outside the noise, Caitlin Clark remained surprisingly quiet. That silence actually made the story even bigger. Fans noticed she avoided fueling the controversy publicly, despite non-stop media attention surrounding her name. Reporters repeatedly tried asking teammates and coaches about the situation, but answers remained careful and controlled. Still, every interview somehow returned to Caitlin again. Every headline continued centering around her impact on the league, because whether critics liked it or not, Caitlin Clark had become the face of women's basketball. Attendance numbers surged whenever she played. Merchandise sold out constantly. Television ratings jumped dramatically during her games. Even casual sports fans who had never watched the WNBA before suddenly recognized her instantly. That level of fame created enormous pressure on the league itself. Many supporters argued the WNBA needed to protect its most valuable star at all costs. Others warned that constantly treating Caitlin differently could divide locker rooms across the league even more. The debate became deeply emotional on both sides, and then another shocking moment happened online. A viral video showed fans loudly booing Chennedy Carter during introductions at a later appearance. The clip spread across social media within hours. Some viewers called the reaction deserved. Others believed the situation had spiraled completely, out of control. But the backlash did not stop there. Sports commentators started analyzing every hard foul against Caitlin Clark like it was breaking news. Every physical interaction during games suddenly became controversial. Fans slowed down clips, frame by frame, searching for hidden tension between players. The atmosphere around the league changed dramatically. Some veterans appeared frustrated by the non-stop attention surrounding one rookie star. Meanwhile, Caitlin's supporters argued that jealousy had become impossible to hide anymore. Online arguments grew more intense every single day. Then reports surfaced suggesting league officials were discussing stronger enforcement moving forward. That was the moment. Fans truly exploded. People interpreted the rumors as proof the WNBA was finally preparing to send a powerful message to the entire league. Some celebrated the possibility. Others warned it could create even more division among players and fans. But nobody could look away anymore. What started as one controversial moment had transformed into a non-stop national sports debate involving fame, competition, media pressure, league politics, and the future of women's basketball itself. And somehow, the story kept getting bigger every single day. Now fans everywhere are waiting for the next chapter. Because one thing has become impossible to deny. Whenever Caitlin Clark's name appears in the headlines, the entire sports world immediately pays attention. Then came the moment that completely changed the conversation. Late at night, while most fans expected the controversy to slowly disappear, a new report suddenly started circulating online. Major sports pages hinted that league executives were holding private meetings about player conduct, media backlash, and the growing tension surrounding Caitlin Clark games. Nobody knew exactly what had been said behind closed doors, but fans instantly assumed something huge was coming. Within minutes, hashtags connected to Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark shot to the top of trending lists again. Thousands of users refreshed sports pages non-stop searching for updates. Every rumor created another wave of chaos online. Some fans believed suspensions were coming. Others feared the league had already lost control of the situation entirely. Then television analysts added even more fuel to the fire. One commentator claimed the WNBA faced the biggest public relations challenge in years. Another argued the league could not afford continuous controversy involving its most watched player. Debate panels became louder and more emotional with every passing hour. The story no longer felt like normal sports drama anymore. It had become a cultural event. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continued attracting unbelievable attention everywhere she appeared. Videos from arenas showed fans lining hallways hours before games, hoping to catch a quick glimpse of her walking toward the locker room. Children wore her jersey while chanting her name during warm-ups. Security presence around her appearances noticeably increased. Even longtime league observers admitted they had never seen anything quite like it before. That growing spotlight created enormous pressure on everyone connected to the league, especially Chennedy Carter. Every move she made online became headline news instantly. Fans analyzed her facial expressions during games. Comment sections flooded with arguments whenever her name appeared anywhere on social media. Supporters defended her aggressively, saying the media had unfairly turned her into a villain overnight. But critics pushed back even harder. Some fans accused Carter of showing unnecessary aggression toward the league's biggest rising star. Others claimed the incident symbolized deeper resentment building against Caitlin Clark's popularity. Inside professional basketball, the arguments became impossible to escape. Even players from other teams quietly started getting asked about the controversy during interviews. Some avoided answering directly. Others admitted the non-stop attention surrounding Caitlin had completely transformed the WNBA media environment. Every conversation somehow returned to her. Then another viral clip appeared online, and this one made the tension even worse. The footage showed fans loudly cheering every time Caitlin touched the ball during a later game, while booing certain opposing players almost immediately afterward. The arena atmosphere sounded more like a heated playoff rivalry than a regular season matchup. Commentators noticed it instantly. Some warned the growing hostility between fan bases could become dangerous for the league long term. Others argued the intense emotion proved women's basketball had finally reached a new level of mainstream relevance. Either way, attention around the WNBA had exploded beyond anything the league experienced in years. But behind the scenes, league officials reportedly remained deeply concerned about one thing above all else: player safety. According to multiple sports insiders, executives feared future incidents could spiral even further if emotions continued escalating at this pace. Every hard foul involving Caitlin Clark now triggered instant outrage online. Every controversial whistle became national debate material. The pressure on referees, players, and coaches kept growing heavier. And then came the statement that shocked fans the most. A sports analyst on live television suggested the WNBA might eventually need stricter league-wide consequences for actions viewed as targeting star players specifically. That single comment sent social media into complete meltdown. Supporters celebrated the idea immediately, calling it overdue protection for Caitlin Clark. Critics responded by accusing the media of treating her differently than every other athlete in professional basketball. Once again, the league found itself trapped directly in the middle of the storm. But through all the chaos, Caitlin herself remained calm publicly. No angry interviews, no dramatic social media posts, no public attacks against other players. That quiet composure only increased her popularity even more. Fans started calling her the most important athlete women's basketball had seen in decades. Young players copied her deep shooting style during practice. Ticket demand continued rising everywhere she traveled, and suddenly, one uncomfortable reality became impossible for everyone to ignore. The WNBA was now experiencing its biggest spotlight in years, and nearly all of it revolved around Caitlin Clark. That realization created a level of pressure the league had never experienced before. Every arena Caitlin Clark entered suddenly felt different. Ticket prices surged within hours of schedule releases. Celebrities started appearing courtside more frequently. Television networks promoted her games like major championship events, even during the regular season. And with all that attention came even more tension. Players around the league began facing non-stop questions about Caitlin during interviews, whether they wanted to discuss her or not. Some appeared supportive. Others looked visibly frustrated by how often the media centered every conversation around one rookie star. Fans noticed everything. Social media users clipped tiny reactions from press conferences and turned them into viral debates overnight. A simple facial expression could suddenly become headline news. One short answer during an interview could trigger days of arguments online. The pressure kept building. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter remained at the center of the storm. Every time her name trended online, the controversy exploded again. Some fans argued she had become unfairly demonized by the media. Others insisted the backlash reflected how protective people had become over Caitlin Clark after months of physical play and non-stop criticism directed toward the league's newest superstar. Neither side wanted to back down anymore. Then, another unexpected moment changed everything again. During a nationally televised game, cameras caught young fans wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys while holding signs demanding the league protect its stars. The images spread across the internet almost instantly. Sports talk shows replayed the footage repeatedly throughout the next day. Suddenly, the debate became bigger than basketball itself. People started discussing celebrity treatment in sports, media favoritism, player rivalries, and even how fame changes locker room dynamics. Some analysts warned the WNBA risked dividing its audience if tensions continued escalating publicly. Others believed the drama was actually helping the league grow. Because no matter how controversial the discussions became, one fact remained undeniable. People could not stop watching. Ratings climbed. Social media engagement exploded. Every Caitlin Clark highlight immediately dominated sports pages, and every controversy involving her somehow created even more attention for the league. That combination created an almost unbelievable situation. The WNBA was finally receiving mainstream sports coverage on a massive level, but much of it revolved around conflict, controversy, and emotional fan wars online. League executives reportedly understood the danger immediately. According to insiders, officials feared future incidents involving Caitlin could create even larger public backlash if not handled carefully. Referees faced enormous scrutiny every game. Coaches became cautious during interviews. Even broadcasters sounded nervous discussing. Controversial plays live on air. Nobody wanted to trigger another media explosion. Then came the rumor that truly shocked fans. Online accounts began claiming certain players around the league were privately frustrated about Caitlin Clark receiving superstar treatment so quickly after entering professional basketball. Whether true or not, the speculation spread like wildfire. Fans immediately picked sides. Some argued Caitlin earned every bit of attention through historic performances, massive college popularity, and record-breaking television numbers. Critics responded by saying the league had many talented veterans long before Caitlin arrived. The arguments became endless. But while everyone else fought online non-stop, Caitlin continued behaving the same way publicly. Focused, calm, careful with every interview. That quiet approach only made her supporters rally around her even harder. Young fans screamed her name during warm-ups. Parents traveled across states just to watch her play once. Arena security teams struggled controlling crowds whenever she appeared near entrances. Even longtime sports journalists admitted they had rarely seen women's basketball command this level of national attention before. And then one respected commentator said something that instantly went viral. "This is no longer just a basketball story," he explained during a live broadcast. "This is a phenomenon." The internet exploded again, because deep down, almost, everyone realized he was probably right. From that moment forward, the atmosphere around the WNBA felt permanently different. Every Caitlin Clark game transformed into a national event. Pre-game shows opened with discussions about her. Post-game, panels analyzed every move she made on the court. Sports networks that once barely mentioned women's basketball suddenly built entire segments around her performances and the non-stop controversy surrounding the league. The spotlight became impossible to escape. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter continued, facing overwhelming backlash online. Every missed shot, every foul, every emotional reaction during games instantly spread across social media within minutes. Fans dissected her behavior constantly, searching for signs of frustration or tension. The pressure surrounding her became enormous. Some supporters begged people to move on from the incident entirely. Others argued the controversy symbolized deeper problems inside professional basketball culture. But no matter how many debates happened online, one thing remained true. The public obsession kept growing. Then another major moment suddenly pushed everything to a new level. During a packed arena appearance, fans erupted into loud MVP chants for Caitlin Clark before the game had even started. Cameras showed entire sections wearing her jersey, while children held posters calling her the future of women's sports. The footage instantly went viral. Commentators noticed something fascinating immediately. Many people attending games now seemed less focused on supporting teams and more focused on witnessing Caitlin Clark specifically. Some analysts compared the atmosphere to early superstar moments involving global basketball icons decades earlier. That comparison alone shocked the sports world, because suddenly, conversations were no longer limited to rookie success or viral highlights. People started asking whether Caitlin Clark could completely transform the future of the WNBA itself. Television executives reportedly loved the attention. Sponsors rushed toward partnerships. Merchandise numbers skyrocketed. And every arena she visited experienced dramatic increases in ticket demand. But behind all the excitement, tension inside the league reportedly continued building quietly. According to insiders, some players privately worried that the media had created an environment where every interaction involving Caitlin became exaggerated beyond reality. One hard foul could now dominate sports headlines for days. The pressure affected everyone. Referees faced criticism after nearly every game. Broadcasters carefully chose their words during physical matchups. Even coaches appeared increasingly cautious, discussing controversial plays publicly. Nobody wanted another media firestorm. Then came a moment fans still could not stop talking about. After one particularly physical game, cameras briefly captured Caitlin Clark walking toward the tunnel while security guards surrounded her closely as fans screamed her name from every direction. The scene looked surreal. Online users immediately compared the footage to celebrity musicians leaving award shows rather than athletes leaving basketball courts. Some joked that the WNBA now needed rock star-level security whenever Caitlin appeared publicly. Others argued the moment perfectly showed how massive her fame had become. And that fame kept producing uncomfortable questions for the league. Could the WNBA continue balancing fierce competition while also protecting its fastest-growing superstar? Would player resentment increase as media attention continued revolving around one person? And most importantly, could the league survive the non-stop controversy without damaging its own image? Nobody seemed completely sure anymore. But despite all the noise, Caitlin continued doing the same thing that made millions admire her in the first place, playing basketball, hitting impossible shots, drawing giant crowds, and somehow remaining calm while chaos exploded around her, constantly. That combination made her popularity grow even faster. By now, even casual sports fans recognized her instantly. People who had never watched women's basketball before suddenly debated WNBA storylines daily online. Young girls copied her shooting style at local gyms across the country. The impact had become far bigger than sports. And then one final statement from a former player sent social media into absolute meltdown. "She's carrying the entire league on her shoulders," the analyst said. "If people still don't understand her impact after all this, they never will." Within minutes, the clip had millions of views, and once again, the internet exploded into war. The reaction to that viral statement was immediate and completely overwhelming. Fans flooded comment sections, arguing non-stop about whether Caitlin Clark truly had become the single most important figure in women's basketball. Supporters claimed the evidence was obvious. Ratings had surged. Arenas sold out faster than ever. Social media engagement exploded every time she stepped onto the court. Critics pushed back hard. Some argued the league existed long before Caitlin arrived and deserved respect for years of growth built by veteran stars. Others accused sports media of creating an unhealthy obsession around one player while ignoring everyone else. But the debates only made the spotlight even brighter. Every sports show wanted another Caitlin Clark segment. Every podcast wanted another opinion. Every headline somehow circled back to her name again. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter found herself trapped inside the controversy no matter what she did. Even routine basketball plays suddenly generated thousands of comments online. Fans watched her every movement during games, searching for hidden tension. The situation had spiraled far beyond basketball. Then something unexpected happened that changed the emotional tone completely. During a road game appearance, cameras captured a young fan near courtside wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey while holding a handwritten sign that read, "Please keep her safe." The image spread across the internet within hours. People reacted, emotionally, immediately. Some viewers said the photo perfectly captured how protective fans had become toward Caitlin after months of physical controversy and non-stop media attention. Others believed it showed how dramatically the conversation surrounding the WNBA had shifted, because now even children were emotionally invested in the drama. Television analysts replayed the footage repeatedly. Sports radio hosts debated it for hours. Social media users called it one of the most powerful moments of the season. And once again, league officials reportedly faced growing pressure behind the scenes. According to insiders, executives understood the stakes had become enormous. The WNBA was finally experiencing mainstream visibility at levels many people once believed impossible. But that attention now came attached to non-stop controversy, emotional fan wars, and massive public scrutiny. Every decision suddenly mattered more. A referee's whistle could become national debate material. A hard foul could dominate headlines for days. One emotional reaction on the bench could trigger another internet explosion overnight. The pressure surrounding the league felt almost impossible to manage. Then came another moment nobody expected. During a nationally televised broadcast, commentators briefly discussed how security around Caitlin Clark appearances had reportedly increased compared to earlier in the season due to overwhelming crowd sizes and fan activity. That single comment instantly went viral. Fans compared her popularity to global celebrities again. Videos showing giant crowds surrounding arena entrances resurfaced online. People reposted clips of children crying after meeting her for the first time. The phenomenon kept getting bigger, and strangely, the non-stop criticism aimed at Caitlin only seemed to increase her popularity further. People defended her more aggressively than ever. New fans discovered her highlights every single day. Casual viewers became emotionally attached to her story almost instantly. Meanwhile, longtime sports observers started making comparisons nobody expected to hear this early in her career. Some analysts claimed Caitlin Clark represented a once-in-a-generation sports moment capable of permanently changing the future of women's basketball forever. Others warned that placing so much pressure on one young athlete could eventually become dangerous. But the public could not look away anymore. Every game now carried enormous emotional weight online. Fans celebrated her victories like championships and reacted to controversial moments like national breaking news. The WNBA had entered an entirely new era, and everyone knew it. Then one final clip surfaced online late one night that perfectly captured how surreal everything had become. It showed Caitlin walking through a crowded tunnel while hundreds of fans screamed her name from behind barriers. Security guards formed a moving wall around her while cameras flashed non-stop from every direction. For a few seconds, it barely looked like basketball at all. It looked like global superstardom, and the entire sports world was watching it happen in real time. By that point, even people completely outside the basketball world had started recognizing Caitlin Clark instantly. Her highlights dominated social media feeds daily. Celebrities mentioned her during interviews. Major brands reportedly rushed into partnership discussions as her popularity continued reaching unbelievable levels. And with every new headline, the pressure surrounding the WNBA grew even more intense. League executives reportedly understood they were witnessing something historic. Not just a talented rookie, not just a viral athlete, but a cultural phenomenon capable of changing women's sports forever. That realization created excitement, but it also created fear. Because if anything happened involving Caitlin Clark again, the backlash could become even larger than before. Every physical play during games now carried massive attention online. Fans reacted emotionally to even minor contact involving her. Broadcasters sounded cautious, referees looked tense, and players knew cameras were watching every second. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter continued facing non-stop scrutiny from both media and fans. Some believed she had become unfairly targeted. Others insisted the criticism reflected how dramatically public opinion had shifted after the controversy. Either way, the situation followed her everywhere. Then came another emotional moment that instantly spread across the internet. Before a game, cameras captured dozens of young fans packed near the tunnel entrance, hoping to get Caitlin's attention for just 1 second. Some held homemade signs covered in glitter and jersey numbers. Others screamed her name the moment she appeared. One little girl started crying the second Caitlin waved toward her direction. The footage exploded online. Fans called the scene proof that women's basketball had reached a completely different level of mainstream popularity. Sports commentators compared the atmosphere to iconic moments surrounding legendary superstars in other leagues decades earlier. Even longtime critics admitted the attention around Caitlin felt unprecedented. And still, the controversy surrounding her never fully disappeared. Every sports debate eventually returned to the same uncomfortable questions. Was the league protecting its biggest star enough? Had media coverage become too obsessed with one player? Were rivalries growing more personal because of Caitlin's fame? Nobody seemed able to agree on the answers. But one thing became impossible to deny. The WNBA was now under a brighter spotlight than ever before, and nearly every piece of that spotlight connected directly to Caitlin Clark. Then another shocking rumor surfaced online late one evening. Anonymous accounts claimed league officials were quietly discussing stronger policies for handling situations that could damage the league's image moving forward. Fans immediately connected the rumors back to the Carter controversy. The internet exploded again. Supporters celebrated what they believed was overdue accountability. Critics accused the media of turning basketball into reality television drama. Once again, social media became a battlefield overnight. Yet through all the chaos, Caitlin herself continued acting almost unbelievably composed publicly. No dramatic interviews, no angry press conferences, no personal attacks against other players. That calmness made fans admire her even more. Analysts started saying her ability to handle pressure might be just as impressive as her basketball skills. Young athletes looked up to her reactions almost as much as her shooting ability. And every time people doubted whether her popularity could grow larger, Another viral moment proved them wrong. Then came the statement that may have shocked the sports world most of all. A former league executive appeared on television and openly admitted the WNBA had never experienced this level of public attention centered around a single player before. The clip spread instantly. Fans debated the comment nonstop. Some called it obvious truth. Others believed it disrespected previous generations of stars who helped build the league long before Caitlin arrived. But the debate itself only proved the point further. Because now, every conversation surrounding women's basketball somehow led back to one name: Caitlin Clark. And as tensions, fame, controversy, and pressure continued colliding around the league, one reality became clearer. With every passing week, this story was nowhere near finished yet. And now the biggest question is no longer about one foul, one controversy, or one viral moment. The real question is what happens next. Will the WNBA find a way to balance competition, fame, and growing pressure before tensions explode even further? Or will the non-stop spotlight surrounding Caitlin Clark continue creating even bigger divisions across the league? One thing is already certain: women's basketball has officially entered a completely new era. The crowds are bigger, the attention is louder, and the emotions surrounding every single game have never felt more intense. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter remains one of the most controversial names in the sport, while Caitlin Clark continues becoming one of the biggest stars basketball has seen in years. And somehow, this story keeps getting bigger every single week. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think the WNBA handled the entire situation correctly? Has Caitlin Clark changed women's basketball forever? Or has the media created too much controversy around one player? Drop your opinion in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next chapter of this story could change everything again.